Hello there, this is Big Benedict, and we're playing DMC4 on LDK mode. And this is mission 8. I believe it's called... I was so busy with those mental abbreviations there that Isn't this called For You? No, that's the next chapter. But anyway, we're still in the jungle. It's the second part of our trek through the jungle. Up there is a blue orb if you didn't know about it. And in this fight here, I believe it's a skippable encounter. We have the puppets. I always call them puppets because they kind of remind me of the puppets from the first one, even though they're not as tall. But I love the first game. I love how it had the countdown. There should always be a countdown. It adds to the rush when you're playing and the intensity of it. So I thought that was really cool. But yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of this franchise, but I realize that without it, we'd not have a lot like the other games. Possibly, some of the ones that I favor. You all know which ones those are, but I wouldn't be coming back to being a player of this game if the mechanics weren't so satisfying that they drew me back. So there is no encounter over here. There are some eggs to smash, and then this egg up here contains, I think it's like 1,000. It's a lot right there. Yeah, I think it was 1,000. So missing that one would definitely screw you up. And then this encounter here, I think this is the Blitz encounter. So when I first started playing this, okay, yeah, what do we have here? We have... Are they Chimeran blades? Are they already... No, these are regular blades. And I was looking around for the... I was looking around for the Chimeras at this point because I thought they were going to duplicate this fight, which is... which in the other versions is... Chimeras with these guys, and then you'd have to go around killing the Chimeras before they could fuse. And then here's the Blitz, completely unexpected. This was my first encounter with him, and so you're going to see me be a little, kind of react a little bit sporadically here because I just saw that. I'm like, oh, okay, the Blitz is here, and I wasn't expecting to fight that guy here. So how do you deal with blitzes? This is the first time in this campaign that we're fighting a Blitz, to my recollection, because I don't think that they've spawned yet. Even on the lower difficulties, I don't think you would have the lackeys here to help out the Blitz. So charge shot level 3 is the best way to deal with the Blitz. So you have to go, with all these enemies circulating, you have to go right up close to the Blitz and just shoot him point blank in the body. Now, the settings for the lock-on, I don't have it on. I have it on the one where it's closest to wherever the closest in my general direction, but there's also one if you want to put it on there momentarily just for this fight where it's the closest guy to you, not necessarily if he's behind you. So I was thinking about that while I was playing it, because I wouldn't want it to have him shoot any, but if I'm approaching the Blitz, I would want him to shoot. If the Blitz were the closest thing to me, I would want him to shoot the Blitz, definitely. So that would probably minimize any problems if you might have that one down here. But once you take the force field off the Blitz, he is completely yours to grab, to spam throw, and to hit with exceed attacks. So I'm sure this isn't our last dealing. I mean, they could have put 5 Blitzes down here, but maybe they will, and I don't know, because I refuse to look at any content because I'm looking for a lot of surprises when I play this, because I've never played this package, and I don't want anybody to tell me what's coming up. So please don't do that. If you can respect that, I can respect the fact that you want to keep being a subscriber. And I don't mean to be harsh. I just, putting videos on YouTube doesn't mean that my experience has to be robbed and dulled. So anyway, No checkpoint after that fight, I presume. I'm just guessing. I don't know. So our next area is back into that mansion, because now we can activate the root. I think it's called the root tree or something. But the trial that I struggle the most on, this fight here, yeah, you want to definitely use this. You want to use ranged attacks, but unfortunately, I got attacked. I wouldn't have got attacked if my character hadn't done that jump at first. But I can't say if it was the game's fault or not. I don't remember. So in this area we have another repetition of these guys here. Unless before it was the Chimeran puppets or scarecrows. I don't remember. I think they're equally as bad, and they're just hard to deal with. Simply put, because look, when he gets to his feet, he's gonna flail. He's gonna flail his appendages, and then that means you're gonna get interrupted in your combos. So ranged attacks are the best thing to do, whether it's the maximum bet. Yeah, I think the maximum bet is the one that I did, and I still don't have the showdown purchased, which is right bumper, forward, Y plus B in double trigger mode. Okay, so you just gotta take your chances when you're throwing, because they will knock you out of that throw with their flailings. And then what do we have here? We have a few more chimeras, and then another spawn of these guys. Okay, so it's a 2-wave spawn, 3 if you count those 2 chimeras, which it's technically a spawn. So the chimeras, I don't think they pose a threat here, because these enemies are already infused and they can't be doubly infused, so it doesn't matter. So just juggle the chimeras, take them out. One grab will kill them. Okay, so that one I don't think hit anybody. But yeah, I am taking a lot of hits over here, and I wasn't particularly proud of this fight. But if it's in the guide, it's for a reason. And I want to thank everybody for watching, for showing your support and interest in my channel. There was some luck right there. Very lucky. Look how many it slayed. It slayed most nearly all of those guys. And it just so happened that everybody was down and not flailing, and I managed to pull that move off quickly. So now instead of going up the stairs, we're going to interact with the dead root tree underneath the stairs, because of the Sephiroth fruit that we gained from the boss of last chapter. Now we can use this, and I should have edited that cutscene up, but I always miss some. Now here I try to charge the Exceed, but it's only when you come here as Dante that there's a couple of enemies, but I don't know for sure now, because there could be like 10 instead of 2. But if you're looking for all the orbs in this chapter, you will have to fail this one time to get the orbs in the underworld, where you fight because you've chosen the wrong direction. So you do have to go in the wrong direction one time to collect those orbs. But when I first started playing this, I thought the bosses would have like 15 lackeys with them, but so far it hasn't been that way, and I'm very much thankful for that, because I don't think you can have very controlled fights that way with 20 fucking lackeys if you're trying to fight a boss. But the boss of this chapter, I remember really struggling on him on Dante Must Die difficulty, and I didn't have the same amount of struggling this time, but I don't know if the hits that I took would have equaled my death on DMD mode. But at this point it has no bearing, because first of all, we're not playing that mode, And second of all, you know, I was using items on that anyway, so there's just chimeras here, so it's a free bunch of kills if you want to do this. Unfortunately, they start you on this screen each time you die on the boss. So, I mean, you don't have to fight these enemies again, but you'll have to leave this screen. They start you right next to the store. So, I'm just juggling. It's the most efficient way. It's not the most lucrative for Proud Soul farming whatsoever. But I was satisfied with Agnes, and I think I'm getting a little bit better. I was able to buster his throws because I now know how to do that. I think I knew before, but I couldn't get the timing right. So we're going to go on to him. So if you're comfortable about using iframes, you'll have few issues on this boss, because you can essentially jump through all of his attacks if you want to, but I don't push it. I do the ones that afford me the least risk, and here's just a lot of chimeras to deal with here, so I'm gonna throw this. Hopefully it connects, even though they were on a higher level than I was, me being on the stairs right there. So I was able to comfortably defeat the boss without using items. Now, about the not using items, sometimes if I'm in between encounters and I want to come to a fight with full health, in between, and I want to come to a fight refreshed, I might do that. Have I done it yet? No, I haven't done that yet. I haven't needed to. There's so many drops. So I will let you know if that happens. So I don't think the charge shot helps too much here, not significantly. It's just the Exceed that does a lot of the extra work for you. You want to engage him, and it's going to have the same kind of thing where when you hit a knight, your attack bounces off his shield, and then he'll counterattack, which means you have to jump. If he's doing a long combo, double jump, and then to make sure you don't land, see, like right there, I had to fire the gun to give myself more time in the air, and then you could buster him in the air or on the ground. It has the same amount of damage though, so it's faster to just do it on the ground. So we're just gonna grab him, and then his shield will gradually turn to this color. So you can't immediately grab him. You can do the Exceed to launch him like that, and then streak over to him. It'll bounce, and then it's a rhythmic fight. I would say it's hard to describe, but it's not hard to play him because it's a very intuitive fight, and it's easy to interpret what he's doing and what's expected of you. So that's a really good sign of a boss. I've never really cared for this guy. I hate his dialogue. Now that I missed, but you have to do two things when he throws that sword at you. You have to not only buster at the correct time, but you have to be lined up to him. If you're facing a different direction, like at an angle, Dante or Nero will throw the sword at a direction that's not where he is. Now that was pretty stylish, actually. Then you can go over here and hit him a couple of times, and he's stunned. So that I would say was pretty lucky coming off that jump. And I think I missed the next couple of ones, but I'm glad they exist so I could show you why facing the wrong direction will make it miss. So, well, that time I just flat out failed to get the timing right. And once he gets low on health, he'll go into a different mode where he starts using multi-attacks. See, I missed it. So streak over to him, attack bounces off, jump in the air, grab him. See, it just does very minor damage, but you are damaging the shield. So there is the explosion from the charged shot. It looks like it did nothing, so it might not be beneficial to charge that up, because with all the micromanaging you're doing in your head, it's just one less thing you have to worry about, that shot. So jump, and I was stunning him right there. That it takes too long and then you can't get over to him. That right there signifies you're going to be able to buster him with a serious combo. So just take advantage of that and don't delay. And in my last guide for this guy, I said that if you held the charge shot, you can get off a round on him. But I find that just doing a streak over to him is better than that. But at this point, he's going to go in the air and then do like a series of projectile throws. He's also going to do summon swords, but not on this take. He didn't do it for me. So again, it's just the rhythm of jumping when the swords move when they're encircling you. So there's perfect example. I was facing away from him. I got the buster correctly. The timing was perfect. But since I was facing away from him, it threw it automatically to the side of me. And you can't control the sword. His streak is very fast. It's easy to get hit by that damn thing. But you can't. Once you grab the sword, it's automatic throw. You can't control where you're throwing it. So that's why you have to be lined up to it. Pretty archaic method of dealing with it, to be honest. So, yep, there we go. Oh, I got him that time. A little lucky. I'm going to streak over to him. Just don't take too many. If you're taking extra hits on this guy, I would say you're doing it wrong. It's just the rhythm, like I said, getting into the rhythm and knowing when you're overstepping your boundaries. So I was actually satisfied with this fight. It was pretty good. It's not a show of supreme skill. There's his projectile throw and his shield's orange, so we're going to be able to buster him pretty soon. And then we'll be in the next chapter, which I believe is chapter 9 for you. Correct? We're on chapter 8. There's the final throw. See you, bitch.